All right. Okay, cool. So I am live on TikTok and I am also live on YouTube and the Book of Face. Yes. See how magical I am? I can be live in different places. Ain't that something? Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sacred Sunday with me, Reiki Master Allison. I am here today. We are going to be talking about, hold on a second. The Book of Face wants to act a fool, and it doesn't want me to update. Hold on a second. Uno momento, por favor. I promise I got you. Coming. Okay. Well, I don't have time to fool with Facebook. It's just gonna be what it be. Anyway, I'm on YouTube and I'm on TikTok, and that's all that matters. So greeting to everyone who is coming to the room. I see Dee the Queen. I see Schooly Lifesty. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Um, but I see y'all are up in here. Don't forget on TikTok to grab your daily heart me. Go ahead and hit the share button because today's message we are going to be talking about embracing your light and how it is time for us to stop hiding. Thank you. Thank you. It's time for us to stop hiding. Mm-hmm. It's time to stop all the hiding. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I know that's crazy scary for a lot of us. So just take a breath and we're going to be all right. We going to be all right. Hi, Goddess Erin. Welcome in. Welcome in. So, yes, come on in the room, whether you are watching this on the Tube of You or on TikTok. Come on in and say hello. Say hello. Say good morning. Say whatever you want to say, just as long as it's a beautiful greeting. All right, all right, all right. All right, so what we're going to do is what we always do on Sacred Sunday. We're going to pull a card to set the tone. Hello, how are you? So today we're pulling from the Sacred Journey Oracle deck, and this is from Vicky Ayala. She is a Latina creator. She is well, when she created this, I'm not really sure what her platform is now, but when she created this deck, she was a brand specialist. And she's helped me a lot. But her brand specialty is helping women entrepreneurs. So I love this deck because it's really got a lot of great messages in it that will be relevant to today's message. Now, I'm going to put this disclaimer out here. All people are welcome in this live. As long as you feel resonant with what I'm speaking about rather, you are welcome here. Please understand that because of who my main peeps are that I help are Black women and women of color. Okay. So the messaging today is going to be geared toward them, but it doesn't mean that it cannot also be relevant to you if you don't fit into those categories. Okay. So I'm just putting that disclaimer out there. I always say if you lean with me, rock with me, you lean with me, rock with me. If my messaging is in alignment with you, then roll with me, you know? So let's go ahead and get the party started with our card. Hello, goddess. How are you? All right, on the tube of you. So we pulled the Genesis card. Ooh. the Genesis card. Okay. So the Genesis card says from the moment your aha light bulb is formed, it becomes a living extension of you. From the moment your aha light bulb, that little light that goes ding above your head when it's like an aha moment happens, and you're like, oh, that's what that's for. That's what that means. Yeah. When that light bulb goes off, soon as it's formed, it becomes a living extension of you. So it's part of who you are. It's part of your journey. So it is an extension of you. Thank you all on TikTok for all the gifts, the hearts. I love it. Y'all know I do. But again, if you haven't already, make sure that whether you're watching this on YouTube or on TikTok, make sure you're sharing this with your peeps because I guarantee you somebody need to hear this message. All right. So, we're going to be talking about embracing your light. And today's message around embracing your light is it's time to stop hiding. It's time to stop hiding. So, I work with, like I said, Black women and other women of color. And one of the things, in particular, women who are 40 and over. And one of the things is for a lot of us, because I coach many women who have this same block of hiding, of, you know, I like yesterday when I taught my Reiki class, a lot of the women there, they were like, I want to be like you. I want to be able to put myself out there, but I'm afraid, I'm this, I'm that. And so we kind of talked a little bit about that yesterday, but I'm going to go a little further today because I really want to break down and get to the crux of why a lot of us as Black women and other women of color um, are taking kind of the scenic route, if you will, of embracing our light and being able to step out of the shadows. Okay. So the first thing or reason why a lot of us are like this, as I'm looking at my notes, there are internalized cultural expectations and conditioning that we all deal with. So for many of us as Black women and women of color, we're raised in these cultural norms and then the societal expectations that prioritize our humility, because, going into the patriarchy. So we're supposed to be in service to others and sometimes being invisible in those cultures. So in these teachings, it's combined with the need for us to be strong or stoic. And this can prevent us from stepping into our light and showing our true potential. Because if we're constantly in that, have that wall of I'm strong, that's why I hate the strong Black woman trope so bad. I hate it so bad. And I'm glad that a lot of women, Black women, are eliminating that from being a place um, that we go to first when it comes to how we show up or don't show up. So this can feel like, or we may feel like being too visible, being powerful goes against all those ingrained things that cause us to hide our greatness and our talents. So if you were ever raised to say, uh, don't stop being so bright, don't stand out too much. Don't draw too much attention to yourself. If you draw too much attention to yourself, then it brings unwanted attention to you. So, while these messages, hello, Rich Oshun, While these messages were basically to protect us, what it inadvertently did was gave us permission to hide our light. All that of, don't shine too bright, don't draw too much attention to yourself, don't be the loudest person in the room, don't wear this too low cut, don't do this, dress this way, put your makeup this way, put your hair this way, make sure you walk the line, make sure you are in step with what society wants you to be, because that way you're palatable, that way you aren't so much to take and everything else. And we internalize that. I have talked about in the past of how when I was in elementary school, I remember that's when my voice was taken in elementary school. And I'm not talking about like fifth grade. I'm talking about like first and kindergarten. My voice was taken then because I was told I talk too much. I am too much. I'm doing too much. I need to, you know, not stand out so much. I need to stop drawing so much attention to myself. And honestly, I really wasn't doing anything but being a child. I wasn't doing anything but being a child. But how this manifests in us, as far as blocks are concerned, we start having that feeling that it's selfish or arrogant to pursue our personal goals and ambitions. Or we start believing that showing vulnerability or talking about our success could lead to criticism and judgment from others. Because let's face it, we don't want to be judged. Who wants to be judged? Who wants to be judged? Who wants to feel like they're always being judged for everything you do, everything you say, everything you wear, right? So it's not a good feeling. And we tend to just be like, oh, I don't know if I really want to deal with that, right? So we hide our light. We hide who we are because of those fears. The other thing is, as I just alluded to, fear of rejection and criticism. So, for Black women and other women of color, especially for those of us who are around 40 and above, we fear being criticized or rejected for stepping outside of these traditional roles and expectations that were placed on us. So, those of us that are like older millennials and Gen X, and maybe some younger baby boomers that are in here that will be watching this, think about how we were raised as women, especially if we were raised in a religious household, of especially in particular of thank you, Goddess, Third Eye Roses. Um, when we are raised in religious household, particularly around Abrahamic religions, where women are not, are where it's men and then women and children. And oftentimes the women and children are so close and the man is all up here, right? So because we've been raised that way, and we've been raised that we're not supposed to overstep, we're supposed to stay in our place, we're supposed to look this certain way, don't let yourself go, keep your man happy, make that man happy, make sure he's happy, make sure you are always presentable so that a man won't look at you and put you down and do this and do that. So we're taught to center everyone else's comfort, everyone else's expectations except our own. So this fear is often compounded by the intersectionality of things like gender, race, age. So where society places those expectations on how we should look, how we should act, how we should be behaving, especially in this stage of our lives. I can't tell you how many times I get on TikTok and see Younger women talking down to older women of y'all just jealous of us. Y'all supposed to be doing this. Why y'all not hosting cookouts? Why y'all not better grandmamas? Why are y'all this? Why are y'all that? Y'all trying to be young. My grandmothers used to say, just keep on living, baby. Just keep on living. Because then once you get in that role and in that age, you will learn. You will learn. So how this shows up, and also let me go back to another point on my notes. And then there's also the fear of facing those microaggressions, being misunderstood, not fitting into what mainstream or predominantly white spaces say is good for us to do. So it's okay for us to fulfill the expectations and comfort of people who are not black or of color and not women, but we can't within ourselves because it's not expected. We're not supposed to do that. So how this shows up in blocks, we avoid leadership positions. We avoid public roles. And this is all due to the fear of being judged of how we will be perceived. I don't want to be seen as the angry black woman. But I got news for you. As long as you have the ability to be angry, which is an emotion that every human has, guess what? No matter what you do, you can't stop how people perceive you. You can't stop how people are going to judge you. The only thing you can do is be true to you and who you are. Not easy to do. And then we'll start holding back or sharing our voices or stepping into the spotlight so that we can protect ourselves from potential rejection. So how this shows up with so many of the Reikipreneurs that I work with is they'll post a whole lot of graphics online, but they won't show videos of them talking. They won't do videos of them sharing their knowledge of what they know. They may do a voiceover, right? Because they want some other picture there. They don't want you looking at them because they don't want you picking apart how they look. Because in the past, people have probably made them very subconscious about their skin color, their hair texture, their nose width, the fullness of their lips, how they say words in AAVE, how they use broken English or their accent. I'm a Southern woman and I'm a Southern Black woman. And most of my adult life, I've been code switching and I hate it because now I'm deconstructing that so that I can hide, number one, my Southern accent, and number two, the fact that I'm a Black woman when I talk. I have my customer service voice. I hate that so much because that's not who I am. I am a Black woman from Tennessee. And even though I'm not from the sticks of Tennessee, I'm right country. And when I get around my people, I feel more comfortable in being my country self. But when I'm with other people, I feel the need to hide it. Why? I don't want to be perceived as a dumb Southerner or a ghetto black girl. And I'm neither. But we put those masks on because we don't want to be rejected. We don't want to be criticized. We don't want to be judged. We don't want to be made fun of, because we've had that. Some of us have had that for much of our lives of somebody making fun of something that we're doing. And so that gets internalized to where we don't share our light. Our light gets dimmed. We don't want to share. We don't want to talk. We don't want to show the world who we really are because the way the world has rejected us and told us, I don't want to hear from you because your hair looks like that, because you talk like that, because your skin looks like that, and so on and so forth. The other thing, the last thing, because I had 3 points, unresolved trauma and self doubt. So a lot of us, hello, how are you on YouTube? It does start at home. It does. But here's the thing with the starting at home. See, my parents grew up in the South during Jim Crow. So, of course, the things that they taught my brother and I were for protection because that's what they had to do. It was not safe for Black people to be loud in their expression or to just express. You had to fit in. You had to be palatable. You had to be acceptable. And so my generation, being the generation that is the first generation after Jim Crow, and I need people to let that really sink in. Gen X is the first generation after segregation. What do you think was passed on to many of us as means to protect us, as means to teach us how to uh, go about life so that we're not criticized, ostracized, so that we again are palatable, acceptable. We can make it if we look and act this way, if we talk this way. Sure, a lot of us were taught to be ourselves, but we were also inadvertently taught not so much. Be who they can accept you to be. And it's not that they meant to stifle us. It's not that at all. It's just that, especially, and I'm speaking as a Black American in particular, in our DNA, the survival of this wretched land, of what they have done to us for centuries, is in our DNA. The fear, all of those things that are rooted within us, those means of protection within us, and all of these things, we have to overcome generations of this trauma that has been passed on, just so we can get comfortable enough to shine our lights. I know this topic is a little heavy, but I do feel like it's a necessary thing for us to talk about. So over time, the accumulation of experiences with racism, sexism, ageism, and other forms of oppression have resulted in our internalized self-doubt and trauma. And so these experiences can lead us to doubt our own worth, dismiss our talents, or fear that we may never be good enough to succeed. So, how this shows up is chronic sabotage, self sabotage, rather, or second guessing ourselves. How many of you always second guess yourself? Every time the ancestors and spirit can be so freaking clear in what it is that they have for us and they want us to do. But then when it's we're having to lean into that ability, those talents and everything else, we second guess it. We pick it apart. And then we find something to sabotage the whole damn thing. because we're afraid. I need somebody that is real up in this piece to say, me, I'm the one. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being honest, Goddess Sunseas on YouTube. Thank you, Goddess Erin. And then we start struggling with feelings of inadequacy. And that's when the imposter syndrome just slides right on in. Even though we have the skills, we have the experience, we have the know how, we are fine as fuck, we are afraid. We're afraid to be seen. We're afraid to show the world who we really are because of the rejection, because of the trauma, the self doubt. All of this encompass our experience as Black women and women of color. So, what can we do? What can we do to help overcome these different things? Somebody sent me a message, sorry. So, the different things that we can do, first of all, we've got to start leaning into community. We've got to start looking for community. And I know I've talked about this several times, but it's not going to stop it being true because none of us were put here as an island. We weren't. And we as Black people, traditionally, in our life before slavery and even during slavery, we're a communal people. There was no individualism within us. It's only now that we're starting to be more individualistic, which is not always a terrible thing, but we have to understand what that does to us and how it breaks us down individually when we don't have that community. So we have to start looking for community. Not saying that we have to look for people to trauma bond with because that's not it. That's not it. We can bond over the fact that we have similar trauma, but we also have to work just as hard to help bring each other out of that. So, we need to start practicing more self acceptance. I talked about this before in one of my lives of doing mirror work. All the things that we see as having insecurities, as especially Black women, the things that are criticized about us, our skin color, our hair, our nose, our lips, our butts, our thighs, all of those things. We need to embrace them because they're beautiful. They're who we are. So doing mirror work helps to reframe this. Doing mirror work, doing positive affirmations, treating your body as sacred can help you reclaim your body if you're having body issues of like looking at yourself and accepting yourself the way you look. Because don't get it twisted. Everybody, no matter what the color, we all can sit and just pick ourselves apart like nobody's business. We can all do that. We have all done that. But for us, we know. How many times do we get on social media? Somebody's always talking about Black women wearing hair extensions, wearing wigs, dyeing our hair, all these different things. And it's like, can we just be? And yes, we can, but we got to decide for ourselves that we're just going to be. We're just going to be who we are because we are who we are. And whether other people like it or not, we are the blueprint. And once we really start internalizing this, when we start internalizing and stepping into our power, understanding that I can show up the way I show up because I look how I look. And most of the women that follow me, that work with me, my looks are the last thing that they bring up to me, if they ever bring it up. And if they do, they tell me they think I'm beautiful. So the women that are for me, that I'm here to work with, that I'm here to help, they're not studying how I look. I can pick myself apart. I still do from time to time. But I have to stop hiding because I look the way I look. And there's nobody on earth like you. Nobody. Every hair on your head is numbered, even if you are bald. Those bulbs that are still within your scalp, they're all numbered because there is no one like you. We can have similar hair texture, but your hair is your hair. We can be all Black women and women of color, but we all have those distinctions within our beautiful melanated skin that make us us. Nobody's eyes look like your eyes. Nobody's lips look like your lips. Nobody's curves are like your curves. Nobody's nose is like your nose. Nobody has the fingerprints that you have. Your fingerprints are a distinct thing to let the world know I am me. Think about that. Not even identical twins have the same fingerprints. When you start thinking about it like that, of how incredible it is to be the unique self that you are, that there is no one else on this earth that is you, the things that you know, the things you've experienced, the things that you see, the way that you talk, the way that you move, the way that you dance, the way that you sing, the way that you bring people together, the way you command everyone's attention when you walk into the room and you don't even realize that you make everyone stop and stand at attention when you walk into the room. And they'll do it all the more when you embrace your light and understand who you are and whose you are. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You have a rich legacy of greatness in you. Yes, we do stand out. We were meant to stand out. We were never meant to be like anyone else. We all have commonalities, but you are who you are. So be proud of who you are. Here's something that made me when I first started doing this work, because I'm gonna tell y'all, I was scared to do this. The first time I set up my phone, my very first like live video was on Facebook, and this is when Facebook was really, Facebooking. The first time I ever did a live on Facebook, baby, I was so scared. I was so scared. I was so like, I didn't want nobody judging me. I spent, I don't know how much time looking at myself in the mirror, trying to fix and hide stuff and just not so I just could show up in any kind of way. And then when I saw myself on camera, my heart fell into my feet. I was like, oh my God, do I really look like that? Oh my God, do I really sound like that? Like, I picked myself apart so much that when I got started, I could not wait for it to be over with. But you want to know the funny thing? I got so many compliments on that video. I wish I still had it because that was on my original Facebook page. But I think if I watched it now, I'll probably crack the hell up. I didn't want to go live. I didn't want to do it, but I was challenged to do it. And it was really hard. It was so freaking hard. But then I was like, I can do this. I need to do this. Then it started to be cathartic for me because I was like, I've got to get out of my own way. I had to hype myself up to get out of my own way. I had to reach down and say, okay, I was created to do this. So why am I afraid of it? Because if this is what I'm supposed to do, then that must mean that there's someone out there that's supposed to be listening to me, that's supposed to be working with me. So why am I hiding? Why am I hiding? Do I not believe in the work that I'm doing? Well, yeah, I do. Do I not know anything? Yeah, I do. So you start thinking about that. I know this. I've experienced this. Other women experience this, and all these different things. When you start to examine that, it helps you to be able to say, I can do this. I'm already doing this. So don't be afraid to shine your light. Don't be afraid to step out of hiding. You are so worthy and deserving to be seen and to be heard. You are worthy and deserving of all good things. And it is safe for you to be you. It is safe for you to be you. You already have permission from on high to shine bright because you were created to shine on behalf of the divine. And the divinity starts from inside. You've already been ordained to shine. So when I go onto your social media, I don't want to see any more. Like, it's fine to do a voiceover sometimes, but I want to see your face. I want to hear your voice. I want to hear what you have to share. I want to see your gifts. I want you to be able to show me who you are. I want you to be able to step into that fully. Rip the band aid. Because here's the thing, we're only here for a short time, and none of us know the time. We don't. And the cemeteries are full of people with regrets. Don't leave this earth with your dream unfulfilled. Or at least, like 50 Cent says, or die trying. That's what I did. I made up my mind. I'm either going to make it or I'm going to die trying. I'm either going to do this or I'm going to die trying because I know that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I can no longer hide my light. I can no longer hide who I am because it's just uncomfortable faking it and not being who I am, not being able to express myself, not being able to share with other people and other women who it just doesn't feel right. I feel like I'm robbing myself. Thank you all. That was a nice gift. So stop robbing yourself and robbing this world of your light. We need your light. We need your light. We need your light. So, everybody, take a deep breath in through your nose, exhale through your mouth, inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. One more inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Put your hand on your heart and say, it is safe for me to be me. It is safe for me to be me. It's already been ordained that it is safe for me to be me. Shine your light, my loves. Shine your light. Thank you all for joining. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Feel free to go over to YouTube to watch the replay because it's probably going to be something you're going to want to watch again. And make sure that you like, you subscribe, comment, do all the things. For those that are on TikTok, I would really love it if you would go over to my YouTube channel and like and subscribe. Because since everything is so iffy with TikTok, I'm trying to build my other platforms so that we can all stay in touch. Okay? All right. I love you. Have a beautiful day. Shine your light because it's safe for you to do so. And I honor you all. Have a good day. Bye bye.